Hello, it's T and welcome to my crafter math. That is the destruction that's done in the process of crafting, and it's a mess I need to pick up. So I'm starting a new series. It is going to be a tag booklet that I'm doing, and I kind of mentioned in a previous video that I was inspired by this bit of ribbon here to do a Frida Kahlo themed tag book. And so I am putting that together. And there are 9 tags, and I don't think that I want to do 9 separate videos because a lot of this is going to be repetitive techniques and whatnot. So I thought that as I'm going through this, anytime that I try to do a technique or anytime I'm working on a technique that might be a little bit different or unique, or even something that I think that has been around for a while and I just want to put my own spin on it, that I would share that particular technique with you. And so I have completed my very first tag. It's not 100% complete, but the base of it's at least down. I think I still want to add some sort of a sentiment or something here. But this is the tag, and I am actually going to walk you through this one because it involves a packing tape transfer. And so I wanted to kind of walk you through that. If some of you, I know that you've probably seen it a million times on here, and now you're going to see it a million and one because it's super easy. And I think that not everyone thinks of it very often, but it adds, it can add a lot to your project. Like this one in particular, you can really see the book page behind the image. And I think that that just really adds a little something to it. And then the flip side, very basic. I made the little pocket and it has a little card that slips in. I colored up the flowers. I'm not going to do this one in particular. You might see bits and pieces of it in the overall video, but I'm not going to focus on it. The focus is really going to be on this side of the tag. And so if you'd like to see something different, let me know. But I really think that as I'm moving through here, like I said, I'll just record and highlight specific parts of it and then do a flip through at the end. So stay tuned, and the instructions or the process video on how to do this transfer, this packing tape transfer, is coming up. And I've kind of got an idea of what I want to do today. I'm going to decorate one tag with you guys, and I'm hoping that you guys will join me in this process and maybe kind of craft along. So with all of my stuff out here, I'm trying to kind of get organized. So my thought is I'm going to do a front and back of one tag. And I have this guy. And this is kind of what's inspiring me today. So it was just a little booklet with these, it's like postcard size Frida Kahlo artwork. So some of them were her self-portraits and some of them were just other paintings that she had done. But I really like the self-portraits, and so I wanted to make those kind of a focal point on the tag. Now, the tag only measures, let me see. So I'm only going to worry about decorating these parts here. I'm not going to worry about all of this up here. So the tag is actually like 4 1/4 by just under 3 1/4. So I want it to be chunky at the end of the day. I don't want to add a lot of bulk to it, but I was thinking of doing the transfer technique, the packing tape transfer technique on this. And I practiced with a few other images before I got started on this, so pretty sure it's going to work. Fingers crossed. If not, then I messed up one of my focal points for my tags. But you know, hey. So for those of you who have not done this, it is packing tape transfer. So basically you're going to put packing tape down on the image, and it's going to hold on to the actual ink on the image. So you want to burnish it down really well. It's going to hold on to the ink on the image, and then the rest of it will pull away. So this one's larger than the tape that I have. So I just have basic packing tape, and I've got a bubble. Let's see if I can work it out. Looks like I did. Oh no, and I've got like a hair or something. I tried to clear it all off before I got started, and of course, nope, it is not coming up. So we've just got something in there. What is that? It looks like some fiber. All right, character, I guess. Okay. Now I am going to, I'm not really a fussy cutter, but I'm going to kind of cut around this image. I don't want the entire image. I kind of just want Frida and these two little monkeys like right beside her. So I'm going to fussy cut, sort of, not like, I am not a fussy cutter. Sorry if this is painful for some of you to watch. I don't enjoy it. I'll do it when I have to. But yeah, it is not my thing. And I believe the tape kind of runs out there. So, all right. So let me get rid of these scraps. This is an old trick, an old technique that's been around for a really long time, but I thought that it would translate well to this book, or this set of tags that I'm doing. So I want to get some background stuff. So you want to make sure it's on really well. And then I'm going to make a mess. So I'm going to pull out some paper towel and my water bottle. I'm going to generously spray this. It's going to start getting wet, and then these layers. This one is a little bit, because I'm using kind of this thicker postcard type paper, it might take a few sprays to really get it going because it's going to come off in these layers. So I may have to spray it a couple of times to get everything up. So then you just start rubbing the layers off. Not quite wet enough. Let me get some more water on here. You could also have a like a little bowl or a little dish of warm water to place this in. I wasn't that prepared, so I've just been doing it like this. You can see it's coming off in big layers, and you can start seeing that image underneath. Isn't that cool? And it should rub off fairly easily. If it gets too difficult to rub off, you don't want to rub the image off, so you want to give it some more water. Okay, I finished my video. It just stopped. My phone stopped recording, so but it's done. So here is the actual image. Everything's come off the back, and it's just dry now. It did, some of the actual ink did come off in certain places, that little fiber that was here, but I'm not worried about that. Having kind of just a little bit of a distressed kind of look to it is a bonus for me, but you can see how transparent it is. So you can see through the back of it. And I don't know yet what I'm going to back it on. If I'm going to back it on just the actual tag itself or pattern paper. I was kind of thinking of doing this piece of paper that I have that's just this Spanish book page collage. That's the way the paper came, if I'm going to do it like on this, because then you can kind of see through there, and I think that kind of gives it a cool effect. So anyhow, I've got to consider that, but I'm going to set this aside for now, and I want to move on to kind of working the background of the tag. So that image had a lot of leaves and things in the background, like it was a jungle theme kind of. So I have taken this guy, and this is a, I don't remember the name of it, but it's just some leaves, and it's, that white die means it is from the stamp market. So I got it from the stamp market, and I went ahead and die cut. This is so delicate. So I have this, and I don't know if this is, I think it's mulberry paper, but it's a handmade paper. I didn't hand make it, but it's a handmade paper. And I wanted this greenery in there, and it has a lot of texture to it, has a lot of character. And so I went ahead and die cut it from this. And I was thinking initially when I die cut it that I would be able to use the negative, but no, most of it came out because I wanted to use the negative kind of as a stencil to stencil the background of this page, but no, that wasn't going to happen. So I'll have to figure that out in a minute. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't want so much of the black showing, I want to kind of prime that. And I was thinking of maybe doing some oxides on here. Let me grab mine. This is my watercolor. This is a watercolor paper, and I just have been using it for a while now. Let's see. For blending and whatnot. Let's see if I can go ahead and tape down the edges of this so it's not sliding around on me. And then I wanted to see if I could get some background going. I've got a lot of stuff up here. I cleared my, cleaned my studio space and my desks, but like everyone else, I'm probably working again in just this little area that you can see. It's all coming together. Okay, so the oxides I think would look good on this. I'm not sure which color yet. So I got Pine Needle and Rustic Wilderness. I think the Pine Needle might look the best, but because of the opaque properties of the oxides, I think that they'll show up really well on this black. And I'm thinking that it would look really nice on here as just kind of some background texture movement, something to kind of cover up some of this space. Okay. So I ended up using the Pine Needle, and I didn't check it, so fingers crossed it looks great, right? All right, big reveal. And it does. Look at that. It already looks like a jungle. I will clean the stencil off later. I'm going to set it aside for now. And then there we go. Oh, that looks pretty. That looks really pretty. All right, now to kind of build up the background. So I am thinking I want to lay this down, and I've got to figure out which way it should lay. I can kind of line that up there so that it doesn't make an awkward, abrupt end. Okay, so I like the look of that. And then we'll put Frida down on top. And I really think that she needs something behind her, but I think in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. So I think that I'm going to just not keep that pen in my mouth. That would be an ugly disaster. I'm going to very gently coax all these little guys down. When I cut this, because this paper is so delicate, I did just put the paper on top of a a regular piece of kind of cardstock type paper. Let me see. This, I set it on side and on top of it and ran it through the die cut machine. That way it was, it had some support and cut a little bit better. That goes off almost perfectly. Anyhow, the reason I don't want to just take some Mod Podge or PVA glue and just go to town and lay it down is because it would pull up all that oxide that I just put down, and I don't want that to happen. So at least these are loose enough for me to be able to kind of manipulate where they go. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. All right, let's get this last section down and then take a look at what we've got. That is twisted up and I'm not sure why. And I'm not really worried about loose spots or whatever because I think that, seeing a lot of that's going to get covered up down here, so I'm not too worried about much of that. And I think she would look good probably about there. So I've got these bits and branches that I can add that I've cut out. And I've got another, the Stamp Market die, this white die that I've cut out some branches. And then I've got these little guys, and I cut out some little branches from that paper that I tea-dyed and stained with the Distress spray stains. And so I cut them from the other half of this sheet. And so I've got all these little guys right here. So I thought darker in the back and then kind of lighter as you go up to the front. It's kind of how I was thinking that this would go, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm loving it. So let's see. Maybe she needs to be down all the way to the edge. I just want it to feel like the jungle here is three-dimensional, if you know what I mean. So I think that I'll be able to kind of manipulate these to work in here. And then maybe some even on the top. All right, let me, I think I do want to put her on this book page. So I'm going to do that. And instead of applying some glue directly to the back of her, I am going to go ahead and apply it to this sheet of paper. I really liked the way that book page came through. I thought that was a really cool look. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. Let me wipe this mat off. Well, nope, that's not working. Where's my rag? My wipe will get that sticky off. There we go. Okay. I am thinking though that these little guys need something extra. I really want these to pop. I bet. I wonder if I emboss them, if that would make those colors pop and have everything kind of come together a little bit better. All right, let's try. I mean, what do we have to lose at this point, right? We bring this back out. I'm going to put these guys down. That's a lot of blue on that one, but I kind of like that. Looks like that one tore. I'm going to go ahead and emboss all of it. So there you go. So for these little bits, I'm actually going to just put the, I'm going to use this non-slick surface. Let me move this out of the way. And then get my Versamark. Where is it? It's hiding. Here it is. All right, I'm just going to use the Versamark. Stay. Maybe this isn't the best way to do this, but this is the only way I can think of now. Maybe they have a tool for this now. I don't know. I know they have the little markers and you could actually color them in. I think that I've got some somewhere, but I don't want to dig for them. And I've already got this out because I was using it on another project. So we'll just make it work. And I think that I've got pretty good coverage. Maybe this guy not so much. All right. We'll find out though, right? Okay, let me slide them onto this sheet. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to use the clear. I always keep plenty of clear, white, and black, and then a nice gold on hand. All right, now I'm going to heat emboss these, and I won't make you watch that, so I'll stop this and come back. All right, so I have embossed those leaves that I cut out, and look at how it made those colors pop. I mean, I knew that it would, but I mean, it really made those shine. So now I can kind of organize them, I think, on my tag. So let me pull this out, and then Frida, I went ahead and trimmed Frida out, and she will go there, and I'll organize everything around her. Let me go ahead and trim the leaves off the edges of this. I know this is riveting. It's just kind of the creative process though, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. I need to glue that little guy down too. I'll do that in a little bit. Trim off some of these little edges. I need better scissors. I think that's what the problem is here. I think these are just really old. And I need some sharper scissors for this fine work. Little detail stuff. Well, that was a lot of glue. All right, I think we're good. So let's see what this is going to look like. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach Frida, and I think that I was going to put her down in this corner and then really try to do the leaves more up in there, I think. So let me go ahead and commit. This is the hardest part, is when you have the vision and it's kind of coming together, and then you've actually got to commit to pieces. For me, that's the hardest part anyway, because I'm like, once it's down, it's down. And I mean, I think 95% of the time, maybe even more, you can fix it or work with it or what have you. So not a big deal. But yeah, that's the scariest part for me. All right. Trying to trim around this without cutting the tag. And then I'm going to re-ink that edge so that white core is not showing through. Okay, so we've got our pieces down. Our foundation is down. Now I've got to figure out, kind of figure out these leaves and how I'm going to do this. Because I do want them to stick up a little bit. So I think I'm just going to start putting them down. And I need my reverse tweezers. I don't know why I'm always trying to hold these little delicate pieces and do this when I've got these tweezers. I've spent so much money on tools, I should use them. All right, we're committing here. And I have to remind myself, so I'm putting this one flat down, and I'm going to put another one that's a little bit lighter flat onto this. But then the rest of them, I'm going to just stick the glue mostly down the center spaces so that they're not flat and they're actually a little bit loose and have some dimension. And then the one thing about this is that having them embossed adds a little bit of stability to them too. So they're still delicate, but not quite so much. I like that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and trim. I find it easier to build these up if I trim along the way, so then I can really get an idea of how it's progressing. That goes off the edge a little bit, but I think I'm okay with that. Okay, we definitely need something in here. Maybe not super high, maybe something kind of low like this. Yes. Yes. So I know when I did these tea-dyed and distressed papers, and I'll link the tutorial in this. I'll link the tutorial in the details for this paper that I did, but a lot of people were asking me, well, how do you use it? And my initial, the whole reason I started making that paper or found a way for it was because I wanted something very specific for a junk journal that I was working on. And that's why I started experimenting with the paper to get the look that I wanted. And then I'm like, but look at all the things it can do. It's like any other background paper. You can use it for anything, obviously die cutting, and then look at what the embossing does with the colors. I mean, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And so anything that you would, I was using it for journal pages. That was the initial intent. But I think anything, honestly, that you would do with any other paper is what you would do with this as well. And I just want these leaves. Come off the edge there. Let me trim this up and see what I've got. Yeah, that's what I thought, that those would stick down like that. Okay, good. What are we thinking? I think that it looks absolutely gorgeous. At some point, I may come in and put like a little saying or a tag or something along there, but otherwise, I'm really happy. There are some little bits and pieces that need to get tacked down. But I think that that is it, and I think that it is gorgeous. And I'll save these little bits here. I'll set them to the side, and I'll save them just in case I want to come back and add a little more. But I think that for the most part that is done. And I think that it is absolutely gorgeous. I do worry about this leaf a little bit and whether or not, let me just glue it down around this edge. It's a little bit too close to this, but I think it would look awkward to cut it. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down because it doesn't peek through to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it down to this, and then hopefully it just kind of sticks there. I love that we used a lot of different techniques and papers, textures to recreate kind of that background that was going on before. And I know there were other monkeys and things in it, but to really kind of create that jungle feel, you know, again. And there's all these different shades of greens and blues and different textures and depths, and I really like the way that turned out. This is it, tag number 1 in my Frida Kahlo tag booklet that I'm going to be working on. So hopefully this has inspired you to pull together some of your Frida Kahlo stuff and make maybe a junk journal or a tag book as well. And we'll see how this goes. And until next time, bye.